huge spring win over the Bruins for the Leafs. It is fully January. Hey, 2025 is about manifesting. Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppies, Iggy, you are drooling all over my floor, and because of the nice hat trick, you get 3. Even though you dropped that one, you can go 2 for 3 here. You can win the series. Do you understand? Win the series against the Bruins. Ah, let's go! Yeah! High-paced game, high-paced LFR video. Leafs win 6-4 over the Boston Bruins. You know what I bet you wanted for the Leafs to blow it? You know what I bet you wanted for the Bruins to win in any way, shape, or form? Watch that on Hockey Night in Canada and then show up on my YouTube channel and watch the sad clown honk his nose. Well, too bad! The circus isn't open today. You gotta wait at least 3.5 months for that. There are 11 goals in this game and I want to talk about all of them. Let's go. Number 1, would you believe me if I told you that there was only 1 goal in the first period? I know, that's dumb. That leaves 10 goals for the final 40 minutes of the game. It was a little insane. First of all, it was way at the beginning of the game. I don't think you understand how good this goal is. How impressive this goal is, how rare this goal is. Matthew Knies was doing a great job in front of the net because he was waiting to be there to be a nuisance for a Leaf scoring chance. Leafs lose the puck, shoot, and it looks like the play's over. Well, Leafs top line, featuring Austin Matthews, by the way, he's back. They create the turnover. Guess who has the puck? It's Mitch Marner. Great read from Jake McCabe, who's like, okay, dude doesn't have a goal yet this season. He jumps up. Look at this. Look at this. I want you to look at this photo of Jeremy Swayman. As Jake McCabe is taking the shot, what do you see? What do you see in front? No one! No one's there! Like the last thing Sheldon Keefe said as Leafs head coach was the truest. They made Jeremy Swayman's job in the first round way too easy. How many times did they beat him clean in that series, right? How many times did they beat him clean and it wasn't a deflection and it wasn't a rebound and there wasn't a screen? You could probably count on one hand how many times the Leafs beat Swayman clean in 7 games. Jake McCabe comes in there with 0 goals and the Leafs had no goals from any defenseman for over a month. And he sees a clear lane ahead of him and he's like, pew pew, it's McCabe time! And why not? Laser beam past Swayman, it's 1-0! Mitch Marner with the assist, he can get anyone a goal. We head to the second period. My voice is already shot. Now, buddy, this is where you got to get on your horse because the game turns into a track meet. 3.5 minutes into the second, Matthew Knies comes along the right boards and Nikita Zadorov is right there. And Nikita Zadorov gets his glove right into Knies' face and Knies grabs his face. He says, owie, but does he quit on the play? No! He continues. And while we were all looking at Knies holding his face, a really good play happened, actually. Charlie McAvoy comes up with the puck behind the Bruins net and Marner puts crazy pressure on him. So McAvoy just goes, bah, and he throws the puck away to Austin Matthews. Now, is that a mistake in the Bruins breakout? Probably. But it was a mistake caused by what? The pressure of Mitch Marner, who's like, yeah, I'm gonna forecheck the hell out of you. I'm gonna forecheck and hit you. Animal this season. Animal. And he turns it over to Austin Matthews? Hilarious. He throws it on. Matthew Knies scores what is somehow only his second sexiest goal of the game. Doing his best impression of Stewart from Mad TV. And it works! Deflects it, goes in, madness, the Leafs are up 2-0 and they're gonna stay that way, I bet. And the Bruins say, alas, kiss our bottom. So remember that time that the Leafs put pressure on the Bruins and it created a turnover and then the Leafs got a goal out of it? Literally seconds after the Leafs score that goal, the Bruins go, that's a pretty good idea. Oliver Ekman-Larsson has the puck behind the Leafs net. He's getting pressured bad. So he throws it up the boards. I think he's trying to hit Max Pacioretty here, but Pacioretty is way too high. Charlie Coyle's like, don't mind if I do. Zacha gets it to Geekie. Geekie is wide open and he snipes it and the Bruins cut the lead to 1 like that. The reason that goal looks terrible is because Geekie is so wide open, but to me the mistake was made when the puck was behind the net and no one was there to support the D pair. So the Leafs had a 2-goal lead. We liked that. They lost it, but it's okay. We got used to the 1-goal lead and you know what? It's fine. We'll just hang out here for a bit. Man, if you watch my stream, you know that I was all over the third line all night. This line will rack it up against weak opponents because they are unreal talented. In their own end, they are shocking and unacceptable. You cannot go into the playoffs with this line For now, it's the regular season, it's January, go for it. But at the end of the second period, they screw this up right off the faceoff. Bruins win the faceoff back, and Bobby McMahon and Philippe Myers go to the point. Now, it definitely looks weird that Myers is the one attacking high, as he's a defenseman, but I don't know what their formation, like what they've talked about, what the expectation is from the coaching staff here. Either way, Charlie McAvoy gets the puck down low to Trent Frederic, who just won the faceoff. Domi just had Trent Frederic, but because of the breakdown, the Bruins have like an in-zone odd man rush. Domi, instead of staying with his guy, the inside guy, like in the slot, goes to the guy on the outside. That guy goes, oh, cool, and gives it to Frederic, who is now wide open, snipes it past Joseph Woll, and guess what? A 2-0 lead is now 2-2. Okay, Geekie wide open, Frederic wide open. Okay, remember this for later. Early in the third period, holy cow! Mitch Marner does a great job deep in the defensive zone, starting the breakout. Nyes is like, I'm gonna give it to John Tavares. He's pretty good. Tavares is like, I'm gonna give it to Matthew Nyes. He's pretty good. Nyes does a little skippy move. The puck is behind him, but earlier this game, we learned that's actually not a problem. And he snipes it backhand spinning! Shades of his playoff goal against Florida in Game 1 in 2023. See, if you remember it, you know how accurate that is. If you don't remember it, you're like, Steve, what's wrong with you? And then you're gonna YouTube it and you're gonna be like, oh, it was pretty similar. Nyes with his second of the game and only his second career 2-goal game somehow. And the Leafs are back on top. Let's see how long they hold on to not very long. This was the worst. John Tavares is having an amazing season, but he has the puck in his own end. David Pastrnak just be very quiet. Steals the puck, snipes the puck. Oh no. You might look at this and go, you know what? It'd be nice to get a save there. And any goalie watching this would be like, you know what? I'd like to not face a wide open shot from David Pastrnak off a defensive zone turnover. And if you're Joseph Woll, you're just watching your save percentage get shredded by what? Geekie left completely wide open, Trent Frederic left completely wide open in the slot, and David Pastrnak off a turnover all alone! And then you look at the goals the Leafs have got. They create a turnover in the offensive zone. Jake McCabe has to slide in and score his first of the season off a beautiful feed from Mitch Marner on a goalie who does not get beaten clean by teams wearing blue and white. The second is Matthew Nyes tipping in a puck that is behind him. And the third is Matthew Nyes shooting a puck that is behind him. All I'm saying is the Leafs, for how improved defensively they are and everything, and they are, like they legit are, allowed a lot of real easy goals while they were playing on like just expert all-star impossible legendary. So Nyes scores 3:43 into the third. Pastrnak about 30 seconds later scores 4:17 into the third. What happens 5:28 into the third? Austin Matthews has the puck behind the Bruins net. Joe Sacco just became the head coach of the Boston Bruins, but you know what I bet he doesn't like saying? Check the game notes for a game that his team is currently playing in! How dare you? How dare you? Like, I'm happy you did it, but how dare you? Matthew Nyes, no one on him, no one in his vicinity. He has 2 goals in this game, and he rips this one. Rips it like, and the puck is in front of him this time. It's wild. The kid's first career hat trick let them rain down, and the Leafs have a lead again. Maybe they'll actually hold on to it. And with just over 2 minutes to play, Mitch Marner into the empty net, dust it off. This one is, oh my God, Pasta scored. How much time is left? Like 2 minutes? No. So this game's not even close to over. Nyes gets a touch of the puck though while the net is empty. Marner with the outlet for Matthews if he can catch up to it, and he's in a race with Pastrnak. I need a high quality picture of this happening so I can blow it up and paint it on my garage. Austin Matthews dives, pool cues it into the empty net, and it's a goal! 3-point return for Matthews, +5! 5-point game for Mitch Marner, +5! Drew, can you just put the graphic as a banner at the bottom? I have him in fantasy! This is the best! Contract year, Mitch, are you out of your mind not drafting this guy? You're crazy! And in what has to be, hands down, the best game of his life, hat trick, 5 points, +6 Matthew Knies! Hockey Knies in Canada, baby! We came up with so many different titles in the chat, and that is by far the best one. Knies had 27 shifts in this game. Only Mitch Marner had more with 28. Matthews was close at 25. He had 6 shots in this game, which led the Leafs. Matthews was close with 5. Credited with a block and 2 hits. Somehow didn't even reach 19 minutes played, just under. Like, forget the fact that he got the assists and he got the goals and the points and like those spinny behind the back, like, are those usually gonna go in? I don't know. On at least 2 of them, he went to the net! And I know that is a sustainable thing he can do consistently. But outside of the points in this game, just watching it, he was dynamite in this game. That is the Matthew Knies that we've seen for the last couple games against the Islanders. That is the Matthew Knies that we saw earlier this season when he was racking it up. That is the Matthew Knies that the Leafs need now, later, and forever. People in the chat were like, hey Steve, you called out Knies recently and he's just started lighting it up. Can you do that again? It worked with Bobby McMahon earlier this year. Dude, if me calling out the Leafs led to success, they would have won many cups by now. But I don't even care. That was a great bend, don't break win. Listen, it's the Boston Bruins. They can erase 2-goal leads. You don't like that they erased a 2-goal lead. You don't like that they made your defense look pretty silly a few times. You don't like that they got a late period goal. You don't like that they tied it up immediately twice. You don't like them scoring with the net empty. But you know what you like? Them having fewer goals than you did at the end of the game. Take the 2 points, stuff them in your back pocket, move forward to Philly tomorrow. Questions. From Cassie. Matthew Knies definitely knew there was a Pens fan in the crowd, right? He just had to have known. No, you can't have him! Damn it! No! 5 points for Mitch, 4 points for Knies. That was updated, and 3 points for Poppy. Line staying together for a while? You would think so, but tomorrow's reality is not necessarily today's. Like, what if they have a terrible game against Philly? And then you keep them together for Tuesday's game against Philly, and they're bad again. And you go, okay, it's time to break it up. But, like, that line makes an abundance of sense on paper. If Tavares keeps up the great season he's having, if Willie bumps this 5-game slump, all of a sudden your top 6 is just ripping. You have a third line that can score, and that fourth line, so dependable. Dude, Kampf, Lorentz, Dewar, if those guys bang and crash the way that they did in this game, you trust that line in any situation. That's 3 penalty killers, 3 prominent penalty killers that you trust. Berube was using them in the third period. That's a great line. Yeah, you like Reeves and his snarl and everything. Holmberg, you know, I'm sure he'll play some more games this season. Dude, that's a great, useful fourth line. Use it. Who starts tomorrow? Do you go with Woll, who looked a little off at times during the game tracking the puck, or start someone else? Honestly, I think any goalie would have looked off in front of some of the opportunities that the Bruins got in this one. They're such a slippery team. You start, it's Matt Murray, isn't it? Who's the backup right now? It's Matt Murray? It's Matt Murray. Or is it Dennis Hildeby? Who is it? Not Woll. Woll should not start tomorrow. It's the second half of a back-to-back. Start whoever the other guy is. Don't jeopardize Wool's season for no reason. Hat-trick for Knies, baby! Do you think there will be a Hockey Rants and Raves 2? I have absolutely loved your books and would love if there was another one of this kind. Loved the first one. First of all, thank you. Second of all, thank you to everyone who made Hockey Rants and Raves one of the top-selling books in all of Canada in Canadian nonfiction. That was a goal of mine. It was, by my count, the second highest selling hockey book in the Canadian nonfiction category. There were a bunch of romance books, but those were fiction. In nonfiction, number 2, behind Matt Sundin. I wasn't going to beat Matt Sundin. I was absolutely keeping score. Like, I didn't pass Matt Sundin. I passed DeMar DeRozan. That's crazy. Past Nazem Kadri. That's crazy. Past Mike Keenan. That's crazy. He's the first coach to ever win a Stanley Cup and a Gagarin Cup. Like, that's crazy. And I can't do crossovers. That is all because of you and you and you and you. So thank you. I, as always, owe you my life. Now, is there a Hockey Rants and Raves Part 2 in the works? I am not going to write for a while because this was a hard year. I agreed to write a book. And I was like, good, this is what I'm going to put all my energy to. And then my wife is like, I'm pregnant. And I went, oh. And the book was due right around when the baby was due. And I don't know if you've ever tried to write a book with a newborn in the house. Oh no. No, if you can avoid it, you should. And then like a few months later, that baby, like they're still a baby. They're a little bit easier version of a baby, but they're still a baby. And then you gotta like promote the book and stuff. And it's, oh no, don't do that. So would I do a Hockey Rants and Raves Part 2? Yes, I absolutely would. We have some other ideas that we might do instead, or also on top of. Put it this way, Hockey Rants and Raves will very, very likely not be the last book that I write. But whatever the next book is, ain't gonna be available next Christmas, and probably not the Christmas after that. Last thing I want to talk about, hey, a live show, and this is a special one. The Chris Johnston Show with CJ and Julian is having a live show, Boston Pizza, Coburg. The King of Coburg, Chris Johnston, returns home for a live show, and I think it's going to be unhinged and amazing. January 17th, link in the description if you want tickets, and I think they're going to go pretty quick. For those of you wondering, that is a Friday night, and for those of you wondering, I'll be there. But ladies and gentlemen, for now, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I'll see you tomorrow, because the Leafs have another back-to-back. This time, it ends with the Flyers.